Hello and happy Monday!
In this next clip, I'm talking about going into my office for work that day and not having anything on the schedule, so I wasn't expecting to have much to do.
I went in and had a ton of trainings that I needed to do and some other work, so it was nice to just go in and be working just all morning.
When I got home from work, I wanted to do some house chores, so here I'm doing laundry, and then I put away some clean dishes and reloaded the dishwasher with some dirty dishes that were just chilling in the sink. And then I decided to cook dinner. So on this night I was making some stuffed chicken. So here I'm making the stuffing, which is mostly cheese, mayo, and some spinach. So I mixed all that together and then cut open some chicken so I had room to put the stuffing in. So I spiced those up, stuffed them, and put them in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. And that way they were ready by the time Dan came home at 5:30, which was awesome. So here is what the chicken looks like when it is all done. And when Dan got home, we ate our food and watched some Adventure Time, which has been like one of our shows recently. Somewhere in the middle there, I put in a second load of laundry. So that is what I'm showing you here. And then for dessert, I had an almond butter cup. These things are so good. I was so excited about it. And then on Monday nights, Dan actually plays soccer, so I went and just watched him play. This is Dan's goal. That is, of course, the only thing I didn't film, but there he is running away, getting some high fives after, so that was cute. And then by the time we left soccer, it was actually snowing, so we drove home, I read Harry Potter, and then went to bed, and that was my Monday.
Good morning and happy Tuesday. So it is freaking cold outside. I just pulled into work. I'm teaching a couple classes today, so I'm going to 4 kindergarten classes and taste testing some parsnips, and then I'm going to be working with some teens and making tacos. But right now, I'm going to go inside and make some breakfast.
So recently for breakfast, I've been loving yogurt bowls. So I cut up a bunch of fruit, throw in granola, seeds, really whatever I have, and mix it all together. And no matter what combination I do, it is always amazingly good. So that's what I made this morning. Just sat at my desk and ate that. And then I actually showed you these bingo sheets that we pass out to kids. So I was too into my teen class to remember to film, so in this clip I'm just telling you the ingredients we put in our tacos.
In our tacos we had ground turkey, pinto beans, tomato, we grated up some sweet potato, and then threw in some red cabbage.
On this night, Dan and I went out and grabbed some dinner, and then I talked to my dad on the phone for 2.5 hours, so I did not film.
Good morning and happy hump day. It is 12:15 right now. I just pulled into the school I'm working at today. This morning I made breakfast. I went through my planner, did some work on the computer and listened to some podcasts, and then had a veggie wrap for lunch. Now I am here. I'm going to go in about 10 minutes. I'm taste testing parsnips with some kids again, but I'll be with kindergarten, first, second, and third grade classrooms today. In addition to taste testing, we also talk through my plate, and then I read a book with them. This month it is about how root vegetables grow, and then we do like a quick activity just to get their bodies moving before trying a snack together. So yes.
So when I got home on Wednesday, I was really hungry, so I ate the other half of my veggie wrap and also had another almond butter cup while watching a Michelle Reed video, and then I had a bunch of laundry to fold. I'm really bad about doing all the laundry in the same day, so I was folding laundry on this day, and then started putting things away, but before I put my clothing away, I actually decided to go through my entire closet and get rid of clothes that I don't want or need anymore, and Marie Kondo'd the heck out of my drawers. So I was pretty proud of my little closet transformation. Dan was proud of me as well, and this is the big pile of clothes that I ended up getting rid of. And then because I was so in the zone of cleaning, I decided to clean other parts of the house. It was kind of a mess after Christmas, so I just went through and straightened up a little bit. Yes, so that was great.
Alright, so it is about 5 o'clock now. I am sitting on the couch after cleaning. I am am planning to write a blog post reflecting on 2019, and I last year did this using these Vertelli's cards, which asked like questions about the past year and things you want to do differently in the coming year. So I figured I would go through some of these questions, kind of rapid fire. Of which personal achievement are you most proud? This year I started a Harry Potter Instagram, actually, and I'm just really proud of the circle of friends and the little community that I've made since starting that. To what are you most looking forward? I have a handful of trips coming up this year. Honestly, most of them are Harry Potter related, but I'm really excited. The first one is coming up in less than a month, so I'm pumped for traveling in 2020. Which bad habit do you want to get rid of? Sitting on the couch and watching YouTube videos when I get home from work. What will you do to achieve your goals and dreams? I'm keeping a planner and a bullet journal this year. So far, so good. What was the best book, movie, or TV series you read or saw? Gallivant was by far the best TV show that I watched. I'm freaking obsessed. If you haven't watched it, go do that. It's on Netflix. And for what will you congratulate yourself a year from now? Hopefully starting an Etsy shop and actually being more consistent with my blog and YouTube and Instagram and things. Dan will be home in like 20-ish minutes, and we're going to talk about some business things for the Etsy shop we want to start when he gets home. But for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to do some just dance. I'm going to probably play some music over it so I don't get copyrighted, so...
For dinner this night, I ended up making pancakes and just topped it with some blueberry jam, honey, and cinnamon. It's been a couple weeks since I actually filmed the video, but I'm pretty sure I just read some Harry Potter and went to bed.
Happy Thursday. It is about 3 o'clock right now. I'm home from work. This morning I went in, made another yogurt bowl. Surprise, surprise. But today I added in chia seeds and sliced almonds, and I didn't have as much strawberry in there. Then I went and worked with 3 first grade classrooms and did the whole parsnip taste test lesson again. Then I actually came home for lunch and I cooked some mushroom ravioli and then made like a pesto Alfredo creamy sauce and added some pine nuts into that. And I just ate that while watching a YouTube video. And then I also ended up getting an apple and caramel thing to eat with that. Then I went and worked with some 5th graders and made some yogurt parfaits with them.
So here is the spread of granola, fruits, and yogurt that we had, and we just talked about nutrition labels and healthy snacking with them.
During lunch, I also decided to start practicing my Spanish again. This was something I wanted to do in 2019, but entirely sucked at. So I put it in my planner to start practicing Spanish again this year. So I did that on my lunch break as well, and it was actually so much fun and forgot how much I miss learning. Wow.
El teléfono. El pasaporte.
Necesito agua. El taxi. La maleta.
¿Quieres más agua? Gracias, yo no quiero té. Un té. Gracias, yo no quiero un té. Gracias, yo no quiero un té.
Gracias, yo no quiero un té.
Now I'm home. I just put some dishes through the washer, and now I'm gonna finish watching the YouTube video I started at lunch and then listen to my friend Danny's podcast while doing a workout. So yes, that is the plan.
truly inspiring.
I chose a quote by Luna, and it is, "Things we lose have a way of coming back to us in the end, if not always in the way we expect." I picked this one because I literally lose everything. And sometimes I find it, sometimes I don't. I feel like I've definitely collected your items at multiple conventions. You definitely have, yeah.
So this night for dinner, I made burrito bowls. So there's brown rice, quinoa, black beans, and corn in there. And then I watched some videos about 2020 and getting back on track. So things like food, decluttering, goals for the year. And then I ended up going into bed around 8 o'clock and reading Harry Potter and grabbing some more yogurt as a snack because I was hungry. So now it is Friday, and one thing I always do that I haven't really shown you guys is drink water first thing in the morning. And then, of course, I had to have more yogurt for breakfast. This day at work, I got there a little bit early, so I did a bunch of personal productive things. So here I am writing my newest blog post, which is reflecting on 2019 and writing out some of my goals for 2020, things I want to do for the first time or just do better in general. So I finished writing that, which was awesome. And then I watched some more 2020 related videos about like bullet journaling and food and whatnot while I was finishing up my blog post. And then I ended up doing a couple of devotionals from She Reads Truth and practicing more Spanish on Duolingo. And I also decided that I wanted to work out a little bit, so I spent like 10 minutes watching a video and just doing some stretches. My boss gave me the first chapter of this book that she thought I might like, so I read that and cut out a couple of quotes that I really liked that stood out to me and put them in my bullet journal. And then I did some of the dishes that were sitting in our sink at work, so that our space could be a little bit cleaner, and then spent some time cutting up a bunch of parsnips. As you might have guessed from the rest of this video, we're teaching a lot about parsnips this month. So after I taught my parsnips class, I rushed home, packed a bag, and then left and drove about an hour away to meet some friends for the weekend. So that was my work week in my life.
I also wanted to talk a little bit about the bushfires happening in Australia, because that's something I've been talking a lot about with Dan over the past few days and some of my friends. So I have this lovely friend Gemma who is from Australia, so we've been doing some checking in with her just to make sure her and her family are safe and okay. And she sent me a Christmas card this year with a little kangaroo pin in it, which at the time that I got it, it was before the bushfires had started happening, so I thought the pin was so little and cute, and I thought it was really sweet that she would think to send me something like that. But I feel like after seeing so much on social media about the bushfires, like, this pin just means so much more, because I don't know if you guys have seen all the pictures going around Facebook and probably Instagram and Twitter and everywhere, but they are heart-wrenching pictures. There's two pictures in particular that really hit me. They all hit me, but these two in particular were both of animals, and the first one I saw was of a kangaroo, a joey, it looked like, that had burned alive. And when I first saw the picture, I didn't think it was real. Like, it looked fake, because this kangaroo got stuck in some fencing and burned to death. And so it was charred, and it looked like a statue. Like, I was unconvinced upon first seeing it that it was a real kangaroo. And, like, realizing that it wasn't a fake picture and that was a living animal that had burned, just, like, made me feel so sick to my stomach just to even think of that. And then there was another picture, because the kangaroo, like, looked pretty peaceful, which is another reason I think why I thought it was a statue, because it, like, was so charred, so it looked statue-like, but then like its eyes were closed and it just looked kind of at peace. But there was this other picture, which I think was of a tiger, but I honestly, like, it was so mangled that I am not sure that's what it was. It was at least some kind of wild cat. My best guess is a tiger, but I also don't know if tigers are native to Australia. But anyway, it had very clearly also been burned in this fire and died that way, but its face was like screaming, like it was screaming out in pain as it died and was burned alive. And reading all the statistics of like millions and millions and millions of animals and acres of land that have burned to death or died because lack of oxygen or whatever it is, because of the smoke. And there's been so many statistics going around about the people who have been affected and the animals and the percentage of land, and even like neighboring, not even bordering, just like countries that are relatively close to Australia but are still like thousands of miles away, that now their air is being polluted by all the smoke from the bushfires. It's just heartbreaking, and I'm having a hard time even seeing all the pictures and the statistics, just like processing the amount of destruction and devastation that's going on, and like the amount of time it's going to take the country and continent of Australia to recover, and just how many species of animals and plant and things have been lost is but I wanted to take a minute to acknowledge that, because I've also seen a lot of charities going around accepting donations for various things for these Australian bushfires, and I am donating to 3 different organizations. So they have like 3 different categories of organizations, so I'm going to donate to one in each category. And CBS put out an article about this, which was the first one I really looked at, but I've since seen a lot of other news stations and people on social media sharing. But anyway, one is to help people who have survived the fires and are in the process of trying to recover because they've lost their homes, they've been displaced, they need shelter, they need clothing, toiletries, food, water. So donating to those people to kind of help them get back on their feet as they're processing the loss that they've experienced. One category is for the firefighters. Like, there are so many people out there who are risking their lives to save as many people and wildlife and acres of land as they can. And just, like, Dan and I were talking about some of these fires, the walls of them are so massive that the firefighters can't even get that close, because like the amount of smoke and heat and just nastiness that fire produces, like they can't be that close in every situation. But just thinking of like all these people out there against these massive walls of fire, going in to save who and what they can. So I think it's important to donate towards them, because they're they're big heroes of the story and helping save what they can. The last is obviously the animals, as I was talking about earlier. Millions and millions and millions of animals have died in these bushfires, which I don't know if that like number is ever gonna push through my brain, but yeah, I just am so saddened at how many numbers of different species have been lost, and just picturing animals burning alive, like, I don't know. So yeah, I just wanted to share that and encourage other people to donate to some of these organizations as well, because my heart just hurts for Australia.
I'll leave a link in the description of this video to the CNN link that I referenced. That gives you links to a bunch of different places that you can donate to help firefighters, survivors, and animals that have been affected by the Australian bushfires.